Watched the Hunger Games and you sided with the resistance. You watched Star Wars and you sided with the resistance. You watched The Matrix and you understood and sided with resistance. You watched the movie Divergent and you sided with the resistance. You watched V for Vendetta and you cheered on the resistance. When it's fiction, you understand and you side with the resistance. Yet when it's happening to you in real life, right now, in the news, in the world, right now, you refuse to see it when it's the reality that you are living in. You're afraid to resist in real life. Phew, blows my mind.
Oh, yes, the Israel and Palestine conflict is really that simple. It's a good versus evil. The Israelis are good, evil. The Palestinians are evil, good. There is no moral gray area in this whatsoever. Before I even get started on that, I want to make a point here. Watch the video. He never once mentions what conflict he's even talking about. And here's the thing. I can't even tell if he's a right-winger or a left-winger because he never makes any points about anything in the video. He leaves it open for interpretation because he wants to convince people that are open to such false dichotomies to just tag along and agree with him. But let's talk about Israel and Palestine for a second, because here's the thing. It is actually morally gray in many different areas. There isn't just one clear-cut good guy and one clear-cut bad guy. In fact, it's mostly gray and then some really bad. Because here's the thing. The parties aren't Israel, Palestine. It's the different parties within those countries versus each other, and then versus the different parties in the other country versus each other. Let's start with Palestine. So the two main parties in Palestine right now are Hamas and Fatah. Fatah also makes up part of the larger Palestinian Liberation Organization. But Hamas is an Islamic terrorist organization. And they have straight up genocidal jihadist goals. And if you don't remember what happened on October 7th, they unalived, R-worded, and many other horrible things to mostly Israeli civilians. They are not good guys. Now, Fatah, I'm actually somewhat sympathetic to. I don't think Fatah is perfect by any means. In fact, I think they hold some socially conservative values. They haven't not committed terrorist acts themselves, but they're a moderate faction, and they're actually capable of negotiating with the Israelis to benefit the Palestinian people. Now, on the Israeli side, there's many different parties, but the main ones are going to be Likud and Labor Zionists. At least those are the ones that matter in my opinion. Likud is the right-wing party, Benjamin Netanyahu's party. They hold the same from the river to the sea ideology as Hamas does, which means they think Israel should be from the river to the sea and no Palestinian state. They are bad guys. And it's his party that is waging this current offensive, which is causing so many Palestinians to be unalived right now. But what a lot of you guys don't realize is there are massive anti-Netanyahu protests going on in Israel right now. And the thing is the Israeli people are not behind him. Many of them openly oppose them, which is why I'm personally sympathetic to the Labor Zionists, who represent the Israeli left wing. Now, once again, Labor Zionists aren't exactly amazing in every quality either. I mean, they have things I highly disagree with. For one, there really aren't many parties in Israel that aren't hyper-nationalistic and really ethno-nationalistic because Israel is a Jewish state. But Labor Zionists is maybe the least bad of them. So even in this, we don't have a good versus evil. We have gray versus evil, but the grays are split up on two different sides of this conflict, which is why my position's always been we have to reject both Hamas and Likud and critically support Fatah and the Labor Zionist Party and work for that two-state solution. Because frankly, there isn't another solution that's going to bring peace to the region. And these really hardcore Free Palestine supporting Hamas types are only going to guarantee more suffering of Palestinian people, and they're only going to empower the hard right-wing Zionists that support Likud and Netanyahu to wage more offensive war, which is just going to take more Palestinian lives and more of their land. You guys actually need to read a book. Fictional movies are oversimplified. Real life is much more complex.